Are you over the age of 50 and you have aches, pains, physical limitations, and you're saying, I don't know that I can do all these cane drills. What does Sobrevivencia have to offer me? That is the topic today. Do not lose hope and stick around, because I'm going to show you exactly how to do that based on actual scenarios. But before we jump into, a warm welcome to all. Listen, if you're loving our content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so that you don't miss any future videos. And also, you have to get the free resources if you haven't done that. By far the most important, the no-cost cane clarity call. You're going to text the letter CCC to the number on the screen in less than 24 hours. We will be on a conversation finding out where you are. We're going to meet you right where you are, and then giving you an actual blueprint of an action plan that you can start applying. Now is a great time to do it at the end of 2024 so that you start 2025 clear on how to make cane training functional. We'll answer all your questions regarding the cane culture, from canes to anything else related. That way it's going to save you tons of time, funds, and frustration. Also, the Facebook groups, they're open to the general public, including one for Sobrevivencia. Just read the descriptions, request entry, that will let you right in. So I'm going to take you through a graduated approach. And one of these is prompted by one of our caners in advance. We had the meeting last Tuesday for Sobrevivencia, for those in the annual membership. And I'll say something about that because it's a wonderful special opportunity that you have to get in that group and as a charter member of Sobrevivencia. But he's sitting down, he's in a chair, right? And you might find yourself confined perhaps to a chair. You have injuries, you have any type of limitations, and you have to train here. The other one is regarding the balance, when you need to ambulate and the movements, and you need that cane to be touching the floor. So I'm going to take you through a graduated approach. And I want to also preface two things. Number one, we're not medical doctors. We're not prescribing anything. This is not medical advice, okay? This is for educational purposes only. So, and number two, even if you're looking at this and you're saying, I don't have any injuries, for my money, caners in general should also train sitting down. Okay, the need to get up explosively from a situation, you can find yourself in danger, assaulted, and anything else. Just for overall functionality, you too should train sitting down. It'll give you a different perspective. So I'm going to go ahead and tilt the camera here because I want to show you this. But the first deal is that if I'm sitting down here, here's one movement that I want you to train. First, I want you on a chair that has this swivel here that you can pivot side to side. Let's assume that it's one side of my body that I cannot. Where you are today, with whatever level, it's weak, it doesn't respond, my limbs don't, is not where you should be 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. We expect you to get better every day a little more. That's the secret with Sobrevivencia. Bite-sized sessions, but consistency, more important. So this is known in ACSD as a sway pivot. It is also the movement in Sobrevivencia. For those of you familiar with the SV walk, it's this way, and I'm going to get to that in a second, right? This is your walk, which is an extension of how you cross. This is my right foot forward, left arm, and if I extend that, it's here. And from this movement, which is typical of SV, come self-defense applications, movement patterns, daily movement sessions for health. So when you're here, what I'm going to recommend is that you start using and pushing, even if it's just a little bit, to get going as a full body, because Sobrevivencia training is a form of brain training and the mental component is more important. I will say something about that, so stick around. So here to here to here. Now, you have to have the ability to move here, and then you can come back and move here, and then push off and see if you can get there, and see if you can get here. The question is, can I use my cane? Yes, you can, and bring it. But I want to know that you're being mindful to bring it right back up, and bring it right back up, and keep it within your guard zone, this little imaginary square or rectangle that covers your angles here. Notice that it's here, and it's not out here where it's leaving you open. It's here, tight. I can do my sliding glide. I can move from here to here. Always two hands. Push, push. If you need to, push, push one way or the other. Use the cane when you need to. Keep that going. And you'll see that it's an integrated approach of top, bottom, and mentally. This is how you start this. While I'm sitting here, how do you demonstrate? What if you're ACSD and you're demonstrating certain patterns? I'm going to invite you to work with a shorter cane. This is a Kali cane from ACSD. Double canes is part of the training in Masters. So in Masters, the pair are required. But this same cane, this is 27 inches. Doesn't matter to me what you're using, to be quite frank. It's a shorter cane so that when you come down, it's, it makes sure you're going to have more room to move in here. But I get to move. I'm doing a pattern. Break here, pop, pop. I get to pivot and still move from here. I'm going to do a projection. I can still handle. Boom, keep it here, right? So I can still do my handling. If I had an injury in my upper limbs, my lower limbs have to get better. If I have it down here, then I got to get really good with my handling. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. So we're going to start that seated. And then progressively you go graduating. It's totally fine to do it like this. And yes, Sobrevivencia has a method for you to train sitting down, still applying the principles. What if you can ambulate, but you can't necessarily start bringing the cane up here? Why? Because you need that cane. That's your support point, and then you're going to bring it here. Well, I'm going to encourage you to use two canes. By the way, these green canes, if you're wondering, these are SV canes. This is a 7/8. It's called the Sage. This is a 1-inch oak octagonal. Doesn't matter to me, again, what you're using. You don't have to use this. But if you're moving, so here's the deal. I have my support point, boom, bring it down, move, move. Why? Because the pattern is this, isn't it? This is the pattern. And does SV train you in the event that you have two tools in your hand? Absolutely. See? The movement patterns are the same up here, whether you have one or two. So it's totally fine to train with two canes. And you might have, who knows, in Cuba, where it was born, you have a machete, right? This is a bolo, and the movements are the same regardless of the tool that you have on hand. So that's how you would train for, if you're here, how do I do the SV walk? Well, you're going to start concentrating on your breathing. Bring it down, move, bring it up. Use two of them. See, and go very slow. See if you can pivot from here. What does it take, boom, to pivot? I can pivot here. Can I pivot here? See how, because it starts training your body as a whole. Your brain is going to appreciate it because you're learning something new. You're learning to move in a different way. And so the message is loud and clear. Do not ever lose hope. Check in and see how it is that we can work with you. That, in part, is what that Cane Clarity Call is for. You may have questions on a variety of topics. How is this going to work for me? But keep in mind, Sobrevivencia was born out of necessity. And the founder has a background in physical therapy, and it's made its way, obviously, into how we move with the cane. And yes, the circumventing or working around with injury and limitations is a hallmark. The most important aspect of Sobrevivencia is the mental training. It's what will allow you to, in his broken down English, every day is the training. It's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you're doing 10 minutes every day, this isn't 10 minutes a week. Now it's an hour that you did over 6 days. And every time you're doing a little more because you're more conditioned to do it, and because something happens where your body realizes there's an intelligence there that says, wow, this is good for me. I like it. I'm producing endorphins. I want more of it. And the 10-minute session turns into 15 without overwhelm. And before you knew it, you're doing half an hour, and maybe you're dedicating more to it. But it's not about marathon sessions. It's not about tearing down your body. The movements work with your body. Your mind is the most important thing. Go back to the island. What was the goal over there, right? Under those conditions, to control your mind, to break you down mentally. Why? Because then they have you physically. If they have you mentally and they're physically, then they got you spiritually, and then they own you. You see how that works? And that's why the most important thing to protect is this up here. That's what the training leads you to. And then we can start doing these things. So these are 2 tips, 2 examples as to how to go about this. And listen, there's no better time to join the annual membership. You know, alert, 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 because up to December 31st, 2024, you can lock in charter pricing for life. It's 76 cents a day. This is not you're hearing correctly, 76 cents per day. It's going to double in January 2025, which is still pretty good because it's less than the price of a cup of coffee daily. But boy, 76 cents, it's just not going to get any better than that. And you get access to all the training modules. You're plugged in. You get the recordings. For me, anytime you say you get the recordings for life, that's a no-brainer because you'll always be able to reference it. And you have the monthly Zoom session for 1 hour with myself and the founder, answering all your questions, watching you do things, and we demonstrate there for you, bring clarity to everything. It cannot be beat. If you have any questions, give us a call. We're at 800-289-8188. Otherwise, look at the description below. Look for it. There's a link there. And, if you love SV, there is no better way to go. All right. Thanks for watching. Remember what I always tell you, you are blessed by the best. Accept nothing less, and never, ever, ever lose hope. We're here for you.